Welcome back to Beyond the Box Score. Here's another packed NHL slate, where every shift can rewrite the standings. These games aren't just matchups, they're momentum swings. Let's break down what really matters tonight. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share with friends to win together and support us. In Raleigh, the Buffalo Sabres roll in searching for answers while the Carolina Hurricanes welcome them with confidence and home ice force. Buffalo sits at 5-4, near the basement of the Atlantic Division, battling uneven play and late-period collapses that have cost them valuable points. Carolina stands at 9-4-0, just 2 points off the Metropolitan lead, and looking to extend a strong 4-1-0 home record. Buffalo averages just 2.64 goals per game while allowing 3.07, numbers that reflect effort without consistency. Their defense bends too often under heavy zone pressure, and their offense can't sustain high-danger looks long enough to tilt momentum. Carolina brings the opposite energy with 3.62 goals per game and only 2.69 allowed. Their forecheck is one of the most aggressive in the league, powered by speed, structure, and smart support angles. Buffalo's leading force is Alex Tuch, who has 12 points and an imposing 31 penalty minutes, giving him a rugged, tone-setting presence. Tage Thompson and Josh Donato trail behind in production, while Rasmus Dahlin leads the blue line with 8 assists and 24 minutes of nightly ice time. However, Dahlin's -11 rating shows how often he's been stuck defending extended cycles and odd-man rushes. Carolina counters with Seth Jarvis, who leads the team with 13 points and 8 goals, and Sebastian Aho, who commands the ice with 9 assists and strong two-way play. Mike Riley's +11 rating speaks volumes about Carolina's blue line discipline and their ability to maintain structure in all 3 zones. Momentum trends are clear. Carolina has won 3 of its last 5 games, showing balance and tight execution. Even their losses, like the 2-1 battle in Boston, reflected discipline and competitive form. Buffalo has dropped 3 of 5, including a concerning shutout loss to St. Louis. Their overtime efforts against Boston and Columbus show fight, but their inability to close games repeatedly hurts them. Goaltending leans Carolina's way. Frederik Andersen sits at 5-3 with improving numbers, while backup Pyotr Kochetkov, or in this case, Brandon Bussi, has provided stability. Buffalo leans heavily on Alex Lyon, whose 2.81 GAA and .915 save percentage have kept them afloat despite facing heavy pressure nightly. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen's limited action and sub-.880 save rate leave Lyon as Buffalo's primary hope. Carolina's structured attack, puck possession, and relentless pressure give them the edge. Buffalo battles hard early in games, but Carolina's third-period surge, outscoring opponents 11-5 in the final frame, will likely be the difference. With enough offensive firepower on both sides, the total projects over 5.5. The night closes with Columbus facing Vancouver in a matchup of similar records but very different energy levels. Columbus enters at 7-6-0 with a solid road mark, while Vancouver sits at 7-8-0 with troubling defensive trends. Columbus averages 3.08 goals while allowing 3.15, supported by a lethal 31.1% power play but weakened by a 68.4% penalty kill. Vancouver's 2.67 goals per game and 3.33 allowed show imbalance, while their penalty kill at 86.8% has been their saving grace. Kirill Marchenko leads Columbus with 13 points and a plus 9 rating, forming a potent trio with Dmitry Voronkov and Zach Werenski. Vancouver counters with Connor Garland's 11 points and Kiefer Sherwood's 9 goals on a deadly 30% shooting clip. Evander Kane adds physicality but also liability with 28 penalty minutes. Goaltending becomes the swing factor. Columbus likely starts Elvis Merzlikins with a 2.98 GAA and 8.917 save percentage, numbers superior to Jet Greaves. Vancouver's hopes hinge on Thatcher Demko, whose .557 GAA and .912 save percentage make him their backbone. If he's unavailable, Kevin Lankinen becomes a major downgrade and shifts the advantage toward Columbus. Momentum favors Columbus, who have won 3 of their last 5. Vancouver has dropped 3 of 5 and been outscored heavily at home recently. The stylistic clash favors Columbus as long as Demko doesn't steal the game. Vancouver needs speed through the neutral zone and clean transitions. Columbus needs power play chances and defensive composure. After measuring everything, the pick leans toward Vancouver overcoming the matchup through home ice, tempo, and transition play, though the path is narrow. With both teams capable of scoring in bursts, the total projects over 5.5. Next is the Dallas Stars roll into Bridgestone Arena. The feel surrounding this matchup is far heavier than your typical early season meeting. Dallas enters at 7-4-3, sitting just 1 point behind Utah and tied with Chicago at 17 points, trying to claw their way into the top tier of the Western Conference. Nashville, on the other hand, at 5-7-4, finds itself looking up from 6th place in the Central Division and already facing the pressure of a season that is tightening by the day. Every game matters, even in November, and this matchup carries the weight of a tone-setting night. It isn't just another skate on the schedule, it's a divisional confrontation with real implications. Dallas took the first meeting of the season 3-2 and is searching for a repeat performance, while Nashville simply needs to stabilize. For the Stars, balance has been their identity from the start. They're averaging 2.86 goals per game while allowing 3.21, a differential that keeps them competitive but also highlights where their lapses have hurt them. Their power play has been a disciplined weapon, clicking at 34%, and that structure has helped them steal games they might otherwise have lost. Mo Rantanen remains at the forefront with 20 points, built on 8 goals and 12 assists, while Wyatt Johnston continues to show he can shoulder top-line responsibility with 9 goals. Jason Robertson and Miro Heiskanen strengthen the core with double-digit point totals of their own, offering Dallas the kind of consistency and depth most teams envy. ESA Lindell's +4 rating reflects his two-way reliability, and Alexander Petrovic's physical presence, marked by his 21 penalty minutes, gives Dallas defensive bite. In goal, Jake Oettinger continues to anchor the crease with 5 wins, a 2.89 goals against average, and an .899 save percentage. While the numbers aren't spectacular, his steadying presence is undeniable. When he's dialed in, Dallas plays with a level of poise that's immediately noticeable. Meanwhile, Nashville is still searching for the right formula. Their 5-7-4 start reflects inconsistency across all zones, but the talent remains there. Philip Forsberg continues to be the spark, leading the team with 12 points through 16 games, pacing the Predators with 6 goals and 49 shots. Ryan O'Reilly adds his veteran stability with 10 points and a 21.4% shooting percentage, while Luke Evangelista's 7 assists give Nashville a creative outlet they desperately need on the right side. Eric Howell's 18 penalty minutes show the physical tone he brings, though at times it has come at the cost of momentum. Offensively, Nashville sits at just 2.44 goals per game, weighed down by a difficult power play converting at only 14.3%. Their penalty kill, however, has held strong at 82%. In goal, Juuse Saros remains the backbone, recording a 2.88 GAA and .902 save percentage across 13 starts. He's regularly facing nearly 30 shots per game, often serving as the last line of defense in games where the Predators struggle to suppress prime scoring chances. Form shows two teams trending in different directions. Dallas is 2-2-1 in its last 5, mixing flashes of dominance with untimely breakdowns. They edged Edmonton in a shootout, outlasted Tampa Bay 2-1 in overtime, but defensive miscues cost them against Florida and again in a chaotic 7-5 loss to Anaheim. Nashville's situation is more concerning, winless in 3 straight after back-to-back losses to Philadelphia and an overtime setback to Vancouver. Their lone bright spot came in a 4-2 win over Calgary, fueled by Forsberg's accuracy and Howell's gritty play. The contrast is clear. Dallas competes from start to finish, while Nashville fades in the moments that matter most. This game likely comes down to goaltending. Oettinger's .899 save percentage doesn't leap off the page, but his rebound control and composure keep Dallas structured. Nashville's backup Casey DeSmith, at 2-1-1 with a 3.15 GAA and .876 save percentage, offers capable support but not much stability. Saros remains the workhorse, and although his numbers are solid, the defensive gaps in front of him, especially on backdoor plays, have made his workload increasingly difficult. If Dallas can establish early net front pressure, Saros may face one of his more taxing nights of the season. After analyzing the matchup, the pick here is Nashville to win. The tactical story highlights Dallas' structured puck movement and dangerous power play led by Rantanen and Johnston. Their ability to cycle, pivot, and create shooting lanes could eventually wear down Nashville's penalty kill. Dallas also holds the edge in possession metrics, 26.1 shots per game to Nashville's 27.4 allowed, suggesting they may control pace. Nashville's chances rely heavily on counter-punch hockey, fueled by quick breakouts from Roman Josi and the stretch ice creativity of Evangelista. But Dallas blue line anchors, Heiskanen and Lindell, close those windows quickly. Dallas will likely lean on clean exits, tight discipline through the neutral zone, and aggressive forechecking pressure to suppress Nashville's rush chances. The X factors remain Wyatt Johnston's finishing ability and Forsberg's knack for scoring in clutch moments. Special teams could be the difference, as Dallas clearly owns the more consistent unit. But if Saros steals momentum early, this could grind into a low-scoring, gritty battle. Ultimately, despite Dallas having the structural edge, the prediction remains Nashville is the winner, with the total going over 5. In Tampa, a different tone sets the stage as the Washington Capitals face the Lightning in a matchup that brings two Eastern powers head-to-head in a game both desperately want to claim. Washington enters at 7-6-1 with 15 points, sitting fifth in the Metropolitan Division, trying to settle into a more consistent rhythm. Tampa Bay is 7-5-2, holding fourth in the Atlantic with 16 points and building momentum with 4 wins in their last 5. The Capitals took the first meeting of the season 3-2 in overtime, but this rematch carries its own weight. Washington is trying to stabilize after a roller coaster stretch, while Tampa Bay is beginning to heat up, finding offensive flow and defensive structure at the same time. It becomes a clash of identity, Washington's grinding, layered system against Tampa's polished, transition-heavy offense. The numbers reflect the balance. Washington averages 2.86 goals per game while allowing just 2.43, thanks in large part to Logan Thompson's outstanding season. Thompson's 6-3 record with a stunning 1.45 GAA and .938 save percentage has elevated Washington's ceiling significantly. For Tampa, Andrei Vasilevsky remains the gold standard. His 4-4-2 record with a 2.70 GAA and .910 save percentage isn't vintage, but signs of his old form are there. Jonas Johansson has also been sharp in relief with 8.916 save percentage, giving Tampa stability even when Vasilevsky rests. Offensively, Washington continues to rely on Tom Wilson's relentless presence. With 9 goals and 16 points, he remains the heartbeat of their attack. Dylan Strome has provided 10 assists along with a notable +10 rating, and John Carlson continues to anchor the defense, not just with heavy minutes but with a steady hand in transition. Tampa counters with superstar punch. Nikita Kucherov's 14 points and 7 goals highlight his elite scoring talent, while Victor Hedman's 11 assists showcase his quarterbacking ability from the back end. Brandon Hagel adds the combination of grit and scoring that rounds out Tampa's top 6. Washington's edge lies on defense and disciplined structure. Their power play is modest at 12.7%, but their ability to clog lanes and force opponents into low percentage looks gives them a counterbalancing advantage. Tampa, however, brings more offensive punch, 3.07 goals per game, and an elite penalty kill operating at 89.4%. That special teams battle looms large. Tampa's kill has been lights out recently, and if Washington struggles to convert, momentum could swing hard toward the Lightning. Momentum clearly favors Tampa. They've won 4 of their last 5, including strong performances against Vegas, Utah, Dallas, and Nashville. Even their lone loss to Colorado was competitive. Washington, meanwhile, has dropped 3 of their last 5, struggling with transition defense and inconsistent scoring. Their 6-1 rout of St. Louis remains the bright spot, but losses to Pittsburgh, Buffalo, and Dallas show lingering issues. Their offense has only totaled 13 goals over those 5 games. Between the pipes, the matchup becomes one of sharp current form against long-standing pedigree. Thompson has been brilliant, allowing only 13 goals in 9 starts. His rebound control and movement give Washington the stability they need. Vasilevsky's numbers may not be elite yet, but his recent form suggests he's locked in again, and with Johansson playing well, Tampa has a reliable tandem to rotate as needed. For this matchup, Vasilevsky is expected to take the crease in a game that carries genuine divisional weight. After breaking down both sides, the prediction is Tampa Bay to win. The tactical edge lies in tempo. Tampa wants to push the pace through the neutral zone, using Hedman's north-south puck movement and Kucherov's half-wall creation to stretch Washington's defensive layers. Expect a heavy forecheck aimed at testing Karlsson and Chychrun, trying to force errors early. Washington's key is physicality. Wilson, Leonard, and Fehervary need to control the corners, slow Tampa's speed, and create breathing room for Strome's playmaking. Special teams again could dictate the outcome. Tampa's penalty killers, Anthony Cirelli, Ryan McDonough, and Hedman, have been airtight, while Washington's kill sits at just 72.7%, a dangerous number against a team with Kucherov and Braden Point on the man advantage. Coaching adjustments will matter, too, especially late. Washington tends to hold structure well in tight third periods, but Tampa's ability to flip momentum in seconds remains one of the defining elements of their identity. In the end, Tampa's confidence, home ice rhythm, and elite top-end chemistry should give them the edge. Expect Vasilevsky to rise to the moment while Washington struggles for consistent secondary scoring. Tampa takes it, and the total goes over 4.5. In St. Louis, the Seattle Kraken and the Blues meet in a Western Conference matchup defined by 2 teams searching for rhythm in very different ways. Seattle sits at 6-3-4, third in the Pacific Division, looking to stabilize their identity and keep pace with Anaheim and Vegas. St. Louis, at 5-8-2, sits 5th in the Central and is trying to turn close calls into sustainable momentum. This matchup becomes more than a simple mid-season test, it's a defining moment for both sides. Seattle wants to build rhythm, St. Louis wants answers. Seattle enters with a structured, balanced lineup. Jordan Eberle continues to lead the offense with 10 points and 5 goals in 13 games. Jaden Schwartz remains the engine down the middle with 6 assists and steady leadership, particularly on the power play. On defense, Ryan Lindgren anchors the back end with 27 penalty minutes, showing physical commitment, while Joshua Mahura's +6 rating reflects his efficiency and discipline. St. Louis counters with Pavel Buchnevich leading with 9 points, Jake Neighbors adding 6 goals, and Robert Thomas contributing 6 assists. Their top-end talent is not the issue, it's depth scoring that has struggled to find traction. The numbers show a tight but concerning contrast. Seattle averages 2.62 goals per game while allowing 2.92. St. Louis sits at 2.73 goals per game but has been weighed down by a difficult 3.87 goals against. Special teams become a battleground here. Seattle has improved its power play to 20% while their penalty kill stands at 70.6%. Street. Lewis is nearly identical at 22% on the power play and 70% on the kill. The difference, ironically, falls on goaltending and defensive structure. Joey Daccord has been reliable for Seattle with a 2.83 GAA and 8.900 save percentage through 6 wins. Philip Grubauer provides veteran depth at .887. But for St. Louis, Jordan Binnington is still searching for consistency. His 3.34 GAA and .859 save percentage revealed a story of a goaltender facing too many high-danger looks. Joel Hofer's 4.09 GAA hasn't provided much relief. Street. Lewis allows 26.4 shots per game, while Seattle allows 28.1, but Seattle's defense is tightening faster and showing better control of the slot. Momentum tilts slightly towards Seattle, even with the 6-1 loss to San Jose. Before that, the Kraken had taken points in 4 of their last 5, including wins over Chicago and Edmonton and an overtime battle with the Rangers. Their offense has found early rhythm, and their top 6 continues to drive consistent pressure. Street. Lewis snapped a 3-game skid with a 3-0 win over Buffalo, but losses to Washington, Edmonton, and Columbus revealed deeper issues in transition, defensive coverage, and shot suppression. Tonight becomes a matchup of Daccord's calm versus Binnington's volatility. If Binnington locks in early, the Blues can hang. If he doesn't, Eberle and Schwartz will capitalize. After dissecting the matchup, the pick is St. Louis to win. Seattle will try to push pace through the neutral zone, using their forecheck to deny Street Lewis time to set up. The Blues' best counter comes from their defensive core, Justin Falk and Colton Parayko, who must slow Seattle's rush and activate the Buchnevich line. Special teams could swing the result, especially with Seattle's second unit generating chemistry between Schwartz and Eberle on the right circle. Depth scoring remains Seattle's underlying advantage, with Matty Beniers finding his groove and Mason Marchment generating high-danger looks. But Street Lewis's desperation and their front-loaded scoring talent give them the slight edge here at home. Expect the Blues to grind through a tight contest and pull it out late, even though Seattle holds more. Structural stability. The predicted total is over 4.5. Finally, the Anaheim Ducks travel to Las Vegas for a massive Pacific Division showdown against the Golden Knights. Anaheim enters at 9-3-1 with 19 points, leading the division. Vegas sits right behind them at 7-3-3 with 17 points. It's a first versus second collision with early season statement potential. Anaheim rides a 5-game surge, playing with confidence and swagger, while Vegas looks to stabilize after a stretch of inconsistent play. The stakes feel high, the energy heavier than usual. Anaheim's rise has been built on balance and growth. Leo Carlsson is developing into a star with 20 points, 6 goals and 14 assists in 13 games, driving play with sharp instincts and smooth puck control. Cutter Gauthier has emerged as an elite finisher with 11 goals on 17.7% shooting, while Troy Terry adds 17 points of his own. Jacob Trouba's +13 rating anchors the blue line, providing defensive stability, while Ross Johnston leads the team with 29 penalty minutes, bringing fire and physicality. Anaheim's offense is exploding at 4.15 goals per game, and their special teams are thriving at 22.2% on the power play and 75% on the penalty kill. Vegas counters with their trademark mix of skill and grit. Jack Eichel leads the team with 21 points, dictating tempo with elite vision and edge control. Pavel Dorofeyev's 9 goals provide scoring pop, while Mitch Marner's 17 points and plus rating fuel Vegas' transition game. Ivan Barbashev and the returning Mark Stone add layers of veteran savvy. Jeremy Lauzon provides physicality on the back end, and Shea Theodore's puck movement maintains flow. Vegas averages 3.31 goals per game but allows 3.23, showing recent slippage defensively, especially in transition. Momentum clearly favors Anaheim. They've won 5 straight: 7-5 over Dallas, 7-3 over Florida, 4-1 over New Jersey, 5-2 over Detroit, and a shootout win over Florida. Their offense is overwhelming, scoring 18 goals in their last 3 alone. Vegas has been inconsistent, beating Detroit 1-0 but suffering losses to Tampa Bay, Colorado, and Carolina. Their attack sputters, their defense looks exposed under pressure, and their need to regain structure is obvious. Goaltending becomes the final chess piece. Lucas Dostal has been critical for Anaheim with a 7-3-1 record, 2.81 GAA, and .904 save percentage. He's calm, composed, and efficient under pressure. Vegas prepares to turn to Adin Hill, who holds a 2.73 GAA and a sharp .888 save rate in limited action. If Dostal outduels Hill early, Anaheim's momentum will only grow. The pick, after analyzing both sides, is Vegas to win. While Anaheim's pace and chemistry have been overwhelming, Vegas matches up well at home when they control tempo. The tactical battle hinges on composure. Anaheim thrives on chaos, speed, and pressure. Vegas prefers control, structured zone entries, and calculated transitions. Eichel and Marner will attempt to slow the game, dictate flow, and pick apart Anaheim's aggressive forecheck. Special teams are evenly matched, but Anaheim's depth scoring gives them slight edge. However, the home ice advantage, the Knights' ability to counter high-octane offenses, and their top-line experience tilt the scale. Expect Vegas to respond to the moment with a complete effort. The predicted total is over 5.5. If you're rocking with these breakdowns, hit subscribe and stay tuned for every slate. Drop your predictions in the comments. Let's see who's calling tonight's winners.